at the beginning of the hearing, of the trial. Because that related to the access rights. So I gave that order, extempore, yes, extempore, before we started the trial. And there was never an indication that anybody wanted to appeal. It was not appealable anyway. It was an interlocutory order, which was not appealable because it only related to the access rights to the child, whilst the trial is running. So I didn't understand the complainant to be referring to that order.
Yes, but I thought that you and the complainant are at idem, that there is a judgment or an order you gave on the 17th of October. They asked for a written document proving it. You were nowhere to be found.
Oh,
And then you then say in your response, it was not my job, it was the administrative staff.
no. I thought she was referring to the last order that I made. And they applied for leave to appeal, as you know. And I granted that. No, I didn't grant the leave to appeal, but there was one issue that is still outstanding in that matter, which relates to costs. And I know that matter is still sub judice because they are likely going to the SCA.
Right. Just the last point on this. I mean, what I'm really trying to get to is an explanation of the delay between October 2023 and July 2024 in them getting a document from the court. Whether you're saying, well, that's true, but it's not my problem, it's someone else's problem, or it's not true. Just trying to, I'm not trying to catch you, I'm just trying to, you to give an explanation.
All right. Actually, I heard about that delay for the first time when the complaint was sent to me. I didn't know anything about that
in these
delay.
proceedings, in this interview?
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody ever approached me about any delay. So I would have helped if somebody approached me, although it was attorney's job to approach the registrar, but I would have helped because I always do help parties who need help. That is part of my job.
So the real answer is it didn't come to your attention.
Sorry?
The real answer is it didn't come to your attention. It's not this thing that it was not your problem, but just no one brought it to your attention. That's the real answer.
I just didn't understand how an attorney would not approach the registrar to get the order. And I'm only hearing it for the first time because of this interview. So I just didn't understand how it happened. And unfortunately, as I said, nobody approached me to say, Judge, please help us. The registrar is not helping us with this, to type this order or to issue it because it is issued by them.
Thank you, Sir.
CJ, may
Thanks,
I follow
Commissioner.
up, please?
All right, let me just ask mine first. Just really, I'm sorry, I missed part of I got distracted. I missed part of the engagement you had with Commissioner Nkaito. Do you say you handed down this order in open court?
Yes.
So it was only the typing and the
That's
admin
right.
side of it that was outstanding?
That's right.
All right. No, that edifies my concern. But I just still want to raise something with you. You made a comment that you had done your part. Now it was for somebody else to ensure that, the order was disseminated to the party or the parties. But I just want to caution you that you're applying for a leadership position, and ultimately the buck about everything that happens in that division rests at your door,
Yes.
your and the JP's door. So it is your responsibility. If there are failures in the registrar's office, for example, when parties complain, you're not going to point fingers at the registrar. You should have measures in place to
Yes.
ensure that the registrar and whoever, all the the administration staff, actually perform their duties.
Yes.
And it's just your duty to
Okay.
do that.
Yes. Unfortunately, I was not aware of this complaint. I always
But you
attend.
do realize that when you assume a leadership position, you will assume the duty to ensure that those orders are actually
Certainly.
sent to the parties.
Certainly, CJ.
You understand that?
Yes, no, I do.
All right. Well, that's what judges do at the Constitutional Court. We have the staff who is paid to do that job, but things fall through the cracks and you can't afford that.
Yes.
So the responsibility rests on us to ensure that the court does its work to finality properly.
Yes.
Okay. JP Mlambo.
Thank you, CJ. Good afternoon, Judge Nkosi.
Good afternoon, JP.
This is just a follow-up on this line of questioning, but the CJ has partly covered me. But what I want to check is, when you acted as DJP, didn't you have occasion to check the turnaround times in terms of which parties get their orders? Let me give you the context. In Gauteng, the turnaround time is 7 days. We have an electronic management system, and the secretaries, judges' secretaries know, and their judges know, that all orders granted in their courts have to be uploaded and provided to the parties not later than 7 days. So I'm just asking you, during your stint as acting DJP, whether you had occasion to look at this or whether you have a system.
We unfortunately do not have a system in that division. But I suppose I'll have to, if you find that I'm the candidate for the position, I'll have to implement that.
Okay, thank you, CJ.
JP?
Thank you, CJ. I am covered, but just for certainty, Judge Nkosi, I wanted to confirm, to just check with you in the ordinary course. Once you have granted it order as a judge, what happens then?
Well, the file is taken to the typist to type the order,
Yes.
so that when an attorney phones to find out whether the order is ready, has been issued, they can then come and collect it.
And as you say, if you were aware that there was an issue with the order, you would have assisted.
I would have sent my registrar or secretary to go and check and solve that problem.
Yes, and just to confirm, CJ, also, I saw my name is mentioned in that letter. I never saw that complaint as well
Yes.
on my desk about this order.
Yes.
Thank you, CJ.
Thank you, JP. So it rests on the parties to collect the order from the court. The registrar does not send the orders to parties.
Well, it depends on the arrangement between the register. It goes to be typed, and then it is issued. I do not know if they send it to the parties or the attorneys come and collect it. I'm not so sure
You're
about.
not sure. And in the case of a party, a self-representing party, do you know what happens?
Sorry?
In the case of a party that represents themselves, what happens? Where there's no attorney.
Yes. So that's why I say, if I am appointed a DJP, I'll make sure that that process is streamlined.
Yes. Clearly, there's a gap in your
Yes.
systems. And the court has actually, it has a duty to send its orders to the parties.
Yes.
If the parties choose to make its work lighter by collecting them, that's
Yeah.
fine. But the registrar should dispatch orders to the parties.
Yes. No, I agree.
Thank you, DJP. Commissioner Pillay?
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good afternoon, Judge Nkosi.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Judge, on my calculation, you've been a judge for 13 years now.
Yes.
Can I ask you to look at paragraph 16 of your questionnaire,
16.
1-6, and you'll find that at page 10.
Yes.
You ask there at 16.1, Judge, to list the cases where you have written the judgment which you regard as being the most significant. And it stated not more than 10. But you only provide, you're one of the unusual applicants that only provide 8 cases.
I could have given more. I read somewhere that they mention about not less than 3 or something like that. So I thought maybe 8 cases would do.
So we are not to deduce from that that you only have 8 significant judgments.
Oh, no,
There are more.
there's many more.
All right.
As you can see from the Safili list that is also attached. No, I didn't attach it. There are actually many more
Yes.
that are on Safili.
So I just want to tell you that the immediate impression or the concern that jumped out at me when I read this was one about work rate.
Oh, okay, no.
And it was classified by your next answer, which the question is which of these cases have been reported? And you indicate that only one of your judgments have been reported. Or is it
Yes.
only one of the 8?
Only one of the 8. There was another one reported. I don't know why it doesn't show, but it's the matter that was decided by the full court of the Mpumalanga. They obviously overruled my judgment. So that is why it doesn't appear here.
So how many reported cases do you have?
It's
Judge?
only 2.
You've got 2 reported cases.
Yes.
Then, if you look further on, you asked at 16.3 and 16.4 to list the cases, list the judgments which were unsuccessfully appealed in 16.3, and you say none.
Yes.
And in 16.4, you asked to list the cases where your judgments which were successfully appealed, and you say none.
No, this was not an appeal. It's another division. Full court of another decision changed my decision.
No, I accept that, but what the questionnaire is asking you is to list which of your judgments were successfully appealed and which of your judgments were unsuccessfully appealed. And in relation to both questions, you answer none.
Yes, because none were successfully appealed.
So in 13 years, not one of your judgments have been appealed?
No. Well, some I do not know, because judges are not told which matters went on appeal, which ones. They are supposed to be told, but we only hear when the matter returns, either from the SCA or from the Constitutional Court, as to the outcome of the matter. But I'm not aware of any.
And unsuccessfully appealed?
Well, sometimes none were unsuccessfully appealed, because sometimes a judge would never know which matters did eventually go on appeal.
I'm so confused, Judge, because you're now saying none are successfully appealed and none are unsuccessfully appealed.
Yes.
In how many of your matters have you granted leave to appeal?
Well, I don't remember, but quite a few. Very few.
Over the 13 years, very few
Yes.
leave
Ve-
to appeals.
Very few, because parties, that doesn't stop the parties eventually to go on appeal if they want to seek a special leave to appeal. But of those that I allowed to go on appeal for a good reason, none were successfully appealed.
So all of the appeals were dismissed.
Sorry?
All of the appeals were dismissed.
Yes.
But that does mean that your answer is incorrect when it asks you how many of your judgments were unsuccessfully appealed.
Well, yes, I think maybe the question was not very clear to me.
In the questionnaire or my question?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about the question here that, yeah, if I remember well, I think the PLA, not the PLA, did mention one matter which went to the SCA, which that was in 2013, I think, when I was still a young judge. I'd forgotten about that matter.
So just a final question, Judge. In your division, is it not unusual to only have 2 reported decisions in 13 years? 2 reported judgments in 13
No,
years?
it is not. It is not, because we usually send matters for reporting which raises a novel issue or a new issue, or which explains another issue which may not have been clear before. And how we do it, all our prepared judgments, reserved judgments, we give them to the people who look into our judgments, who correct them, and their senior receives those matters and make them available to the reporting houses to see whether should this judgment be reported or not.
Thank you, CJ.